Saitama is a bald hero whose strength has no limits. His punches destroy planets and his speed covers interstellar distances in seconds. No attack has ever hurt him or made him try hard in any fight. Doctor Strange is Earth's top wizard using magic spells, time control, and travel between dimensions. Stephen Strange commands magical forces that change reality and bend physical laws. This fight tests whether endless physical power can beat unlimited magic tricks. Saitama brings raw force that has ended every fight with one punch no matter how. As strong as opponent was, Doctor Strange counters with spells that work outside normal physics through dimension travel and reality changes. Their clash would threaten multiple worlds as brute force meets magic mastery. We'll see how each fighter's skills work when overwhelming strength faces reality-bending magic. What Saitama brings to the table. Saitama's physical abilities go beyond any measurement with no upper limit shown in any area. His punches create force that destroys planets, splits atmospheres, and makes shockwaves visible from space. Speed reaches levels where he looks still before moving faster than light across space. His jumps from Earth to the moon take seconds while making no air resistance or sonic booms. No test can measure his toughness since no attack has ever caused visible damage to his body. His casual swats deflect energy beams that level cities. Breath control can put out fires across entire urban areas. Physical strength goes up infinitely based on how strong his opponent is without any energy cost. His body works fine in space, vacuum, and planetary core heat. The key factor is complete immunity to physical damage from any source tested so far. His mind shows total confidence backed by absolute physical dominance in every recorded fight. Battle records show consistent victory through minimal effort no matter how powerful his opponent is. Saitama has beaten cosmic threats, reality benders, and multi-dimensional beings with single attacks. His fighting style gets rid of complex strategy in favor of direct use of overwhelming force. Opponents with planet-destroying abilities prove no more challenging than street-level criminals. His reaction time processes threats and responds before enemies complete attack sequences. Saitama shows smart thinking when he chooses to hold back rather than accidentally destroying everything around him. His greatest combat asset is psychological pressure that builds as opponents realize their attacks do zero damage. Most enemies give up or run away after seeing his casual destruction of their maximum power attacks. His win condition stays the same across all threat levels through use of enough force to end conflicts immediately. The critical question is whether beings who work outside physical laws can be affected by physical force, no matter how strong mental strength comes through. Saitama's complete emotional detachment from combat outcomes and external threats. His boredom during fights comes from never meeting opponents who require serious effort or smart thinking. Fear tactics prove useless since he lacks fear responses to danger or concern about personal safety. His motivation focuses entirely on finding worthy opponents rather than protecting civilians or preventing destruction. Saitama stays calm even when facing universal-scale threats that would overwhelm most heroes mentally. His training background suggests disciplined commitment to self-improvement, despite achieving power levels that make further growth seemingly impossible. Moral code prevents unnecessary killing but allows maximum force use when opponents prove genuinely threatening. His greatest tactical limitation is impatience with opponents who use complex abilities instead of direct confrontation. Saitama tends to end fights quickly rather than allowing enemies time to show their full abilities. The question becomes whether magical abilities that bypass physical interaction can affect someone whose body works beyond normal physics entirely. How Doctor Strange controls the field. Doctor Strange's mastery of magic provides access to dimensional energy sources and reality control that ignore normal physics entirely. His spellcasting includes portal creation for instant travel across universes, time control to slow or speed up local time flow, and matter changes that restructure atomic bonds. Energy projection works at cosmic scales through borrowed power from dimensional beings like Dormammu and the Vishanti. His magical shields deflect physical attacks while absorbing energy weapons for power redistribution. Astral projection allows combat on spiritual planes where physical bodies become irrelevant. Mirror dimension access removes fights from normal reality into controllable pocket spaces. His magical detection reveals hidden enemies, alternate timelines, and probability branches for future events. Spell variety includes offensive magic, defensive barriers, environmental control, and reality change effects. The Cloak of Levitation provides flight ability and independent defensive actions. His greatest asset is magical versatility that adapts to any opponent type through appropriate spell selection. Smart thinking works on multidimensional scales where Strange considers threats across time, space, and alternate realities at once. His tactical approach involves analyzing opponent weaknesses through mystical observation before engaging in direct combat. Strange uses environmental advantages by shifting battles to dimensions where his magical control proves absolute. His spell combinations create layered effects that build over time rather than relying on single powerful attacks. Knowledge of magical laws lets him exploit loopholes in reality that opponents cannot predict or counter effectively. Strange's experience includes beating beings that exist beyond physical form through banishment, binding, and dimensional imprisonment. His prep time allows consultation with mystical texts and dimensional allies for specialized knowledge about specific threats. Combat psychology focuses on misdirection and indirect approaches rather than direct magical assault. His greatest tactical strength lies in recognizing when brute force approaches will fail and implementing alternative victory conditions. The question is whether magical effects designed for spiritual and dimensional beings can affect beings whose power works through pure physical expression. Reality control reaches maximum effectiveness when Doctor Strange commits full power to eliminate magical assault. His time control can trap opponents in temporal loops, speed up their aging, or remove them from the current timeline entirely. Dimensional banishment sends enemies to hostile realities where survival becomes impossible. Matter control restructures opponent bodies at the molecular level or changes them into harmless materials. His magical binding can restrain beings regardless of their physical strength through mystical forces that work outside normal physics. Portal creation allows battlefield control by redirecting opponent attacks back at them or dropping them into hostile environments. Strange's connection to cosmic beings provides power boosts that scale beyond planetary levels when facing universal threats. His spell work can affect concepts like luck, probability, and causality rather than just physical properties. Mental magic attacks consciousness directly while bypassing physical defenses entirely. The critical factor is whether magical effects that target spiritual essence, dimensional existence, or conceptual properties can affect opponents whose power appears to go beyond normal magical targeting systems. His victory depends on finding magical approaches that work on beings who operate beyond conventional mystical understanding. The fight opens with Doctor Strange immediately recognizing the threat level and activating maximum defensive spells while opening portal escapes. Saitama approaches directly at casual walking speed, showing no concern for Strange's magical preparations or dimensional manipulation attempts. Strange's first tactical move involves mirror dimension transportation to remove the fight from normal reality where collateral damage could destroy planets. Saitama follows through the portal without apparent concern, suggesting dimensional travel has no effect on his abilities. Strange deploys time manipulation spells to slow Saitama's movement while speeding up his own casting speed. The time dilation proves ineffective as Saitama continues moving at normal pace despite temporal distortion effects. His casual punch toward Strange forces immediate portal evasion as the air pressure wave destroys the mirror dimension's structural integrity. Strange realizes standard magical defenses will not withstand direct physical contact from Saitama's attacks. His tactical analysis confirms that conventional magical approaches designed for physical beings may not apply to opponents whose power operates beyond normal reality limits. Doctor Strange escalates to reality manipulation directly targeting existence rather than his physical form. Transmutation spells attempt to convert Saitama into harmless materials but produce no visible effect on his body or clothing. Banishment magic designed to send him to hostile dimensions fails as Saitama's presence appears anchored to reality through unknown means. Strange's binding spells that normally restrain cosmic entities prove unable to slow Saitama's movement or limit his actions. Temporal loops designed to trap opponents in repeating moments collapse when Saitama's punch creates paradox effects that destabilize time magic entirely. His astral projection attempts reveal that Saitama's spirit appears as physically indestructible as his body. Strange's most powerful offensive spells that directly attack consciousness and soul essence produce no effect on Saitama's mental state or behavior. Portal redirection of Saitama's attacks back at him result in uninflicted damage to Strange's magical defenses rather than harming the intended target. Strange's consultation with mystical entities provides no knowledge of beings whose power operates independently of magical laws or dimensional structure. His greatest tactical error involves assuming magical effects that work on cosmic entities will affect opponents whose power source remains completely unknown. Saitama wins through continued use of gradually increasing force until Strange's magical defenses reach failure point. His casual approach to the fight allows Strange full opportunity to show magical abilities while revealing that none affect him meaningfully. Strange's spell work proves most effective at delaying confrontation rather than actually harming or restraining Saitama. The decisive moment occurs when Saitama becomes mildly annoyed with Strange's portal evasion and increases movement speed enough to catch him between dimensional jumps. Strange's final desperate spell attempts include reality erasure, magic that would normally remove opponents from existence entirely. The erasure magic fails to affect Saitama while damaging Strange's own dimensional anchor points, limiting the ability to maintain portal travel. Saitama's victory stems from power that operates outside magical targeting systems entirely, making him effectively immune to reality manipulation, regardless of cosmic power levels. His physical supremacy proves absolute even against opponents who bypass physics through supernatural means. Strange's defeat results from encountering an opponent whose abilities transcend magical understanding rather than operating within mystical laws that can be countered or redirected. Saitama demonstrates that sufficient physical power can overcome reality manipulation when that power exists independently of the reality being manipulated. Share your thoughts on whether any magical approach could have changed this outcome for Dr. Strange.